I've always said, and I'll continue to say, that 2024 is a recovery year for Tesla stock. In 2022, interest rates started to go up and Tesla started to slash prices like crazy. It was a massacre in 2022. The stock went from all the way from 400 to as low as 100. An 80% drop, which is crazy. However, in 2023, it doubled because it was oversold and because interest rates has pretty much stayed flat. This goes to show you that Tesla stock is very sensitive to interest rates. So what do you think is going to happen once interest rates starts to go down? It's going to be a very sheesh moment, and that's why I'm making this video. There's no rush to buy Tesla stock because I do think interest rates are going to stay high for some time. And when we do get an interest rate cut this year, it's not going to be much, maybe 0.25, maybe 0.5. It's not going to be so much that's going to make a massive difference, but it is a good start, and that could really make Tesla stock go higher. But until then, there's no rush to buy Tesla stock. And although this was the most voted video to make, we have to understand that timing the market for Tesla, yes, it's a great stock to swing trade. You can make a lot of money trading this stock, but it's also a stock that everybody FOMOs in, that everyone panic sells and panic buys. Like I panic buy when Tesla goes down. And it seems like for a lot of you guys that's been DMing me and commenting me, asking me if it's a good time to buy now, if I should panic buy, panic sell. In this video, I'm going to be telling you guys that there's no rush to buy Tesla stock. You have time. And I'm going to show you guys in this video here through fundamentals, because I go through fundamentals, not through technical analysis. So if you guys are ready, man, smash that like button and hit subscribe if you haven't already, man. Let's go. So here's my stock price prediction for every single quarter for 2024. Whatever you guys see in the income statement for Tesla, it's here but formulated. And if you guys are a regular viewer of the channel, then this should not be anything new. If it's new to you, then you guys are new to the channel and you guys haven't hit subscribe yet, which I don't know why. And if you guys want access to this, you guys can check out Patreon right here. So in 2024, we're only going to look at 2024 because, I mean, we have like 10 months left for this year, and that's a long time to dollar cost average, or if you're thinking of buying or selling, I mean, 10 months is a long time. So we're going to take a look at 2024 only, every single quarter, what the price ranges could be based on fundamentals. For 2025, 2026, that's going to be another video. But for 2024, you guys can already see the vehicle deliveries numbers are already in, as well as the average selling prices, the gross profits, the energy, operating costs, revenue, profits, income from operations, all that goodies. What we care about is what the stock price is going to be based on these numbers. And I do think this is an 80% accuracy when it comes to the profits and revenue. I do believe these are the case. I do believe that in 2024, we are going to be staying in the 8% operating margin for pretty much all of 2024. Again, it's a recovery year for Tesla, unless there's some extremely good surprises that are maybe coming that's not priced in, then that's even better. But based on what we know, based on expectations, we're gonna go based on this. In the first quarter of 2024, we have over $25 billion in revenue, a net income gap of over $2.1 billion. That would be an EPS of 60 cents or an EPS non-GAAP of 75 cents. Overall, GAAP EPS is $4.16. At the moment, the stock price is around like 190. That would mean a PE of around 45, 46-ish. But if they come out with this number, right now the EPS and non-GAAP estimate is 63 cents, which is pretty darn low, and I think they will adjust it. I think they'll do at least 70 cents when the actual delivery numbers come out for all of Q1. But if this is a beat, if 75 cents is a beat, and we are seeing operating margin going up from 8.2% to 8.3% in 2023 of Q4, if we are seeing total GAAP gross margin go up 16.6% to 18.2%, and also vehicle gross profits going up to 16.8% from 16.2%, then this is a good sign. Wall Street analysts will look at this and go like, all right, they've officially bottomed in their operating margins and their gross margins, all that kind of stuff, which is good for an upward trend. They could reward the stock by giving it around a 50 PE or even a 55 PE, around $208, $229 per share, which is around 15 to 20% higher than what it is now. I mean, if you guys are swing trading and you guys think that this could be a realistic scenario for this quarter, well, then you got to make some money. But here is the thing, guys. You never know with Tesla stock. Elon could come out and say some weird things and it could tank the stock. Maybe interest rates don't get cut. Remember, I'm not expecting any interest rate cut in Q1. So that's why I'm saying 55 PE, maybe a bit too high for this quarter. Maybe 50 PE would be the max that I would say of 208. The lowest I can see it going is maybe around a 40 PE, maximum 146. So really anywhere between 208 and 146 is where I would see the stock price could be for this quarter. It's hard for me to see anything below 146 if they're continuing to increase operating margin and vehicle gross profits. Even if they miss the EPS now gap, they're still on an upward trend now, which is awesome. And fundamentally, it's hard to see the stock going below 35 PE or 146 bucks per share, or just below $500 billion in valuation. Come on, we're talking about Tesla over here. Come on. But I do believe that this could be the range for this quarter. And if this is going to be the case, then there's really no rush for it. There's no rush to buy. You can just continue to dollar cost average. Don't have to panic buy. I mean, I panic buy because I have price targets and stuff to hit. And once I hit it, I don't hold anything back. I just buy. I just go all in. But 146 to 208, I know that's kind of broad, but it's Tesla stock. It's very volatile. And I think this is a good range to be at. In Q2, if you guys can see, pretty much everything has been maintained. Operating margin as well as total GAAP gross margin. The only thing that has increased is the gross profits. You guys have may notice that the average selling price has increased a little bit thanks to the Cybertruck. So based on that, and we are seeing an uptick in non-GAAP and GAAP as well. We are seeing an increase net income as well. Deliveries is over 500,000 vehicles. And when Q2 earnings gets released, that's sometime third week of July. And that's when everyone is expecting the Fed to cut rates a little bit, but I'm not even gonna consider that for this quarter. So with that, I'm gonna give it a similar PE compared to Q1, but increase the PE because now we have, not only have we bought on, but we're maintaining it. So that would mean Q3 would be a whole lot better, and you guys can see Q3 does get better. So again, I'm gonna give it 55 PE as max being around 221 and low as a 40 PE of 161. So 221 to 161 could be the range for Q2 once that comes out around these ranges. As you guys can see, it's still staying volatile big time, but I'm gonna give it a 48 PE to stay neutral. But that's the thing, guys, like we could potentially see Tesla stock trading around the 160s, 150s even by Q2 of 2024, which is absolutely insane. But in Q3, I think things will start to change. In Q3, that would mean October and onwards is when we're going to get the Q3 earnings report. At that time, I do think interest rates will start to come down. And I do think because of that, we can probably see a PE as high as 60 of 251. Not to mention, guys, look at the operating margin, 8.4% compared to 8.3%. GAAP gross margin has increased by 3 points. And vehicle gross profits has increased as well. So really, this is the right direction we want to see. And if Wall Street is seeing this and interest rates go down, then at 60 PE, even as high as 65 PE could be the case by Q3 of 2024 or by October, November, which is, that typically is a good month for Tesla stock. So around there, I'm gonna go as low as 60. I'm not gonna go higher as that. PE at that time could be low as 45, around 188. So anywhere between 188 and 251, which is, again, there's no rush to buy, guys. There's absolutely no rush. Yes, Tesla stock could go to 251, but that's heavily based on interest rate cuts. And I don't think we're gonna get that much of interest rate cuts. We could also see 188 sometime in end of Q3 or beginning of Q4 once this earnings report comes out of 2024 of this year. So really there's no rush to pile in right now because we may get another chance later. Again, I'm not saying time the market. I'm just gonna buy whenever the stock reaches my price target, which was below 200. Anything below 200, I'm just buying as much as I can. But that's the ranges for Q3, 188 to 251. I'm gonna give it a PE of around 50, 209 because it just makes sense. Now, in Q4, they delivered almost 600,000 vehicles. Average selling price is 43,000 thanks to the Cybertruck. We have the total GAAP gross margin of 18.7%, higher from 18.5% in Q3. We have vehicle gross profits up 0.4% and operating margin up to 8.7%, which is really impressive. At this time, guys, at this time in Q4, once this comes out, we're already in January, right? So we're 11 months away. I do think interest rates will be a whole lot lower than what what it is now. I do think we have to be at least 1 or 1.5% lower than what it is now. With that in mind, I can see Tesla stock reaching a PE as high as 100. Now, I do think Q4 is going to be a good quarter for Tesla, because now in Q4, we have another year until the compact car comes out. Now, we also got the semi and stuff this year as well, which is these are not priced in. Maybe FSD Europe and China comes in at that time. Maybe FSD version 12 is no longer beta. So there's a lot of good things coming for Tesla that could really say 100 PE is maybe could be cheap for Q4. Could be as high as 110, $300 per share. Now, I know Dan Ives and all those other guys are saying that by end of this year, they could see Tesla stock reaching $1 trillion market cap. That would mean a PE of around 115 with a stock price of $313 per share. My price target for this year is 350, which would be a PE of 127, between 128 and 129. But let's see if this will happen. I am pretty hopeful that I think this will happen eventually, because there's so many good news coming in Q4 of 2024. It's going to absolutely flip insane. But what's the lowest, right? What's the lowest we can see? I mean, with an operating margin this high and a gap gross margin of this high and everything else just going in the right direction, it's really hard to see the PE not to be below 80. Now, here's the thing, guys, right? Because the EPS of $2.73 is lower, and this is as a fiscal year compared to Q3, that's because in Q4 we had that like tax inheritance come in around like $5.7 billion. I don't know if we're going to get that for this year as well, but 2.73 is the actual EPS from the actual fundamentals. So in order to match Q3's of 209, we need a PE of around 80, 78 or 80 to reach that. Now, is that a high PE for Tesla? Some will argue it is. In my opinion, because Tesla has so much unrealized revenue and profits coming, 80 PE is kind of cheap in my opinion. But that's just my opinion alone. But with $2.73 in EPS with an 80 PE, we'll get a similar number compared to Q3. Now, here's the thing. Because we have so many good things happening in Q4, I do think around a 90 PE would make sense for Tesla stock for end of the year. Around 250, I think that makes sense. And I think the stock prices could range anywhere between 250 and 350. Okay, realistically, I think 350 is a bit of a far fetch. I say 300. Around there would make sense. So, as you guys can see, 146 to 208 this quarter. So you have a lot of time. There's no rush to buy. In Q2, between 161 to 221, again, just no rush, just so much time that you can dollar cost average to it. Q3 of 188 to 251, again, not much difference. And I think Q4 will be the last quarter before anything happens, because 2025 is going to be an excellent year for Tesla. 250 to 300, around there. All these prices, guys, from 146 to 300 or 350 is still considered flat for Tesla, because all-time high was 407 or 414, and all-time low, at least for the 52-week low, is about 100. So anything between these ranges is considered flat for Tesla. And if you guys think that Tesla stock is going to be worth 2,000 and above, which I think it would be, end of the decade or early 2030, then none of these prices really matter. It absolutely doesn't flippin' matter. So, to conclude, guys, should you guys rush into Tesla stock right now? I don't think there's a rush. Not a rush at all. Yes, there is panic buying, and I am panic buying, but that's because I'm trying to dollar cost average or bring my average lower. That's all I'm trying to do. And I don't care what's going to happen with the stock next week, next month. I'll come back in 5 years' time, and then we can talk to see what has happened to the stock price. And I can't wait to see what those bears are going to say in 5 years' time. It's going to be an awesome time. Now, if you're a trader, swing trader, you're probably licking your lips. Wow, if Tesla stock can go to 146 as the lowest for this quarter, then I'm going to make a lot of money shorting it and make a whole lot of money buying it and riding the way up. And honestly, Tesla stock is perfect for that. What stock goes from 400 to 100, then back to 300, then goes back to like 170. It's just ridiculous. It's crazy. It's crazy how this stock moves, and you can make a lot of money trading this. But I'm not a trader, I'm an investor, and I'm in it for the long time. How long? 2030 is my at least time to be invested in the stock, and you guys can see my revised 2023 stock price prediction here. Of course, this is all prediction alone, not facts, including this prediction here as well. But you guys will find some interesting value in this video here. I may have to update it though, but nonetheless, you'll find good value. Guys, get your I Bought the Dip t-shirt wearing one right now, because we are the dip. This is the dip. We are behind the dip. And subscribe, and I shall see you guys in the next video. See ya.